Hey guys, this is a Patreon Q&A. If you would like to be in next week's video, simply check out the link in the description and you can sign up there. To everyone listening, there's going to be spoilers for all of the series I'm going to be talking about. Goddish Wolf asks, how drastic do you think the rankings are going to be after the Monster Association arc, since a lot has changed from the webcomic? So that's a great question, and I honestly have no idea, because I'm really unsure what one's thoughts are on this in the first place, because as you mentioned, a lot has changed from the webcomic, but just the webcomic in general never really gives us insight into the updated rankings, like not at all. And for a while, I was really expecting us to get like an update on that, because, you know, we got introduced to the Neo heroes, we got all of their introductions, and I thought maybe after that there was going to be some juxtaposition with the S-Class. We were going to get a hype on them or something. Oh, here's the new rankings, but it just never came. And at this point, I don't know if it ever will, or at least in the webcomic. Or maybe one just thought it would be better to do it in the manga, maybe? But then again, the rankings don't really matter, and they never really kind of did, because they're all just bizarrely arbitrary and ambiguous anyway. So the only real highlight to us seeing like new changed up rankings would just be like the novelty of seeing a new number displayed next to the hero, and then that would just lead to what it always has, just more discussion and speculation as to the significance or lack thereof. But at least we can take a look at what the rankings would be objectively afterwards, at least going off of the information that the webcomic gives us. So after the Monster Association is over, we know for a fact that Bang winds up retiring, so he's removed from the rankings, and Child Emperor, Darkshine, and Metal Bat wind up leaving the Hero Association for the Neo Heroes, so they're off the rankings as well. So now we're down 4 S-Class heroes from the original 17, meaning that there's only 13 S-Class heroes now, or at least in the webcomics continuity. So this is what it would look like via process of elimination. Everyone kind of just moves down and it readjusts itself. And I guess this is like the most insight that we can really give ourselves at this point. And like I said, it just gives us novelty of seeing a new number next to some of these characters' names. But in the end, it doesn't really mean anything. But as you asked, are there going to be drastic changes? And I assume so, since there have been drastic changes up until this point. I'm assuming the aftermath of the Monster Association arc, leading into that little bridge arc that we get going into the Neo Heroes, is going to be much different and much expanded upon. Now, in my opinion, I'm thinking that there's going to be even more defectors to the Neo Heroes. Not many more, but I think maybe like 1 or 2 more heroes besides Child Emperor, Darkshine, and Metal Bat are going to go to the Neo Heroes. I mean, I could be wrong about that, of course. But aside from heroes leaving, we don't really have any more heroes coming in. I mean, now that we have Suiko in the manga's continuity, we know that she for sure is probably going to go on her original path, you know, joining the Hero Association. But in the webcomic, she's only deemed strong enough to be A-class level. And the same thing with Fubuki. She winds up leaving B-class to join A-class. So unless one introduces like just new characters that were always just out there and they were just strong enough to be S-Class heroes, you know, kind of like how we got introduced to the Neo leaders, then I don't really expect her to be like a big change up with the S-Class, other than just the rankings being adjusted for the vacancies. Just expect the unexpected with how the manga's continuity is going to progress at this point. Majin Boros asks, I was reading the One Punch Man manga all over again, and I noticed that the most brutal thing that Garo did to a human was rip off the arm of Blue Fire. I was shocked, since I thought all that he did was just knock them down to a pulp. So yeah, this is like Gen 1 Garo. This is like the most edgy and unhinged Garo that we've seen in the series, outside of like when comes like his feral monster form. And in Garo's defense, Blue Fire was trying to kill him. So he just simply disarmed him in more ways than one. I think this was more so just to have like his character have like a big impact on the audience, to give you like a base assumption of him, only for him to grow on you, only to become a much different character as he goes on to be developed. Ryan asks, if Blast ever did die, would Tatsumaki get a power boost, since Esper powers are sort of emotional related and she would be grieving? She may need one eventually against God and his disciples. So it's very possible, but we really don't have much insight into how all the Esper stuff works yet. Pretty sure we will eventually, once we get like the origin of Espers, which I talked about in my Truth About One Punch Man videos. I'm pretty sure they all come from like one lineage that started with God giving the forbidden fruit to like the Adam and Eve espers of this world. But I do expect Tatsumaki to get some kind of boost by the end for sure, whether it be from Blast dying or just from her training. Sean H asks, seems you finally started covering kaiju, so what do you want to see from the series in the future? So at this point, I would like way more expansion into the kaiju side of things. I just hope that kaiju number 9 isn't like the boss of all things, like he's at the very top of the kaiju hierarchy and then everything is just comes from him. As you mentioned here, you'd like to see some kind of Akatsuki Espada group, and I do think that there is going to be that. I mean, kaiju number 10 kind of implies that it's coming for sure, but I just more so hope that kaiju number 9 is a part of them and not so much the Madara of that group. Samurai asks, Himajima versus Kokushibo, but this time it's Hima when he's a demon. So this is like the age-old question of, you know, what if an S-class hero ate monster cells? How strong would they be? Man, it's so hard to say. I mean, Himajima is, you know, implied to be the strongest Hashira for sure. So if he were to become a demon, would he be as strong as Kokushibo? And I just really don't know. He would be up there with him for sure, but even as a human, Kokushibo seemed to be stronger than Himajima was as a human. And just for some reason, it's difficult for me to see any singular character being able to defeat Kokushibo in a one-on-one fight without some serious plot armor on their side. You know, outside of Muzan and Yoruichi, of course. Delamante asks, which anime do you like more, Demon Slayer or Jujutsu Kaisen? So when you say anime, do you mean like the anime adaptation of the manga, just strictly the animated series itself? Because I'll say that the Demon Slayer anime is like almost as good as it gets for like a modern adaptation of the manga. Jujutsu Kaisen, of course, is amazing in its own right, but Demon Slayer is just crushing it. If we're just talking like the manga or the series overall, then it's Jujutsu Kaisen easily. First Wolf asks, because they seem to rely more on physical combat, do you think the Esper battles in Mob are more intense than those in One Punch Man? Yeah, for sure, but I think it's more so because the Esper aspect of Mob pretty much comprises entirely of its power system. As where like the Espers in One Punch Man are just one of many aspects of the system there. So Mob has to compensate for that, where it all kind of has to fall under this one umbrella. As where with One Punch Man, that's not really the case. Little Ferrari asks, do you think there will be a new look to this power-up that Goku will receive in DBS? Or will it just be the Master Ultra Instinct look, but we will just know that he's better with it? That's a good question, and I'm assuming that it'll look different because, you know, we're going more into Whis saying your unique version of Ultra Instinct, which of course is referencing why he has like the transformation, why he looks silver and all that stuff. So I think it's very likely that he'll look different because that's like the gimmick of Dragon Ball, right? He gets like a new power-up or a new form, and then it aesthetically changes to signify that he is stronger. I don't think it's going to be like radically different, but it'll probably be something like Vegeta going from like blue to blue evolution, you know, something like that. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. I want to thank all of my patrons for continuing to support me. I really do appreciate it so much. And once again, if you'd like to be in next week's video, simply check out the link in the description and you can sign up there. Also, if you liked it, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.